سلامات من تغش يمكن؟
ميلاد دانيال فلسطين.
أبي تقمتي.
حجة وشارلوت نورث
Alright. نم كندي زي خي تساعد زلها بزي وعلى.
كاب 2008 أكيزة إنه عامي I moved on but since 2008 شو تشعر كده الله كاب.
زي ترجم نايز وعلى عند بالخمي تقلتيه.
تعرف تبغى I mean منأسي عندهم كم فرق وبهضم حزبهم مزانهم مسبت عيون لهم تعرف يحب قصة I mean تبغى الله ما الله مزح ذلك إرفع ما كاسب تعرف
كيدا كسكف ترحي ريكي كاب توعلى قب جمر بسات هجي نمتاي بقوم تدخافي كي تسرحي
because علامة تفضل على ناسي I mean دكاس زمان يندوس أبزي مركب عباس أبزي مركب فوق منسي كابتن دكاس ما علم مشي دليل على نفس ناسي مشي بقى قال رأي سنة لك تدق أسمع أسمع كلامه so علامة بقى علامة فريدة.
Great. Thank you, Mela. Shim coming you. Daniel, okay. Abit Ahmed?
Charlotte.
Great. Is this your first conference?
No.
Okay, you've...
This is my fourth conference.
Okay, what do you think about this year's conference? What's your thoughts?
It was great. I had a good time. I liked a lot of the speakers. They were a real good help.
Great. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, what's your name?
Hey everyone, I'm Ben Hergirmai. I'm from Toronto. This is my third YPFDJ conference I attended. Now I'm an adult, so it's changed quite a bit since I was a little boy back in the day. But definitely I would say it got better. Like the whole, the way it's organized definitely got better. Back in the day it was more like you sit down and just listen to everyone talk, and a lot of people get bored because after a while they just keep on talking constantly after 3 days, like no one really want to listen. But now at this conference they broke it up by a bunch of different sections. The little kids are outside playing games, which is good for the little ones. The people like me who are not really involved but understand everything about it gets put into a room and you talk and debate. People are saying what they like about it, what they don't like, what they want to make better. And then the older people are talking their politics or whatever they talk about, which is
perfect.
Always good.
That's brilliant. I've realized you've just come back from Eritrea.
Yeah.
And you've been to Sawa too.
Yeah.
How do you feel the connection between the diaspora and in Eritrea is at this right moment?
They know about the struggle. They've been in the struggle, you know. So, but they're working hard. That's what's important. The goal of Sawa, you know, we need people to defend our country. You know, it's necessary. The goals of the government, the goal of everything. I see the long-term goals. That's what's important. You know, a self-sufficient, sovereign nation, which is very important. And it's like there's sacrifice in all parts. But that's what this whole conference is about. It's just getting you informed, getting people conscious, getting people committed. You know, it's not going to change in one day, which is something as I'm learning. It's like, can't just be half-assed in it, because if you're just like, you know, if you're just coming for a certain time and just to enjoy and this and that, you're not going to really make a difference. But if you're ready for that struggle, that sacrifice in a different way, not how they do it back home, but here, about staying consistent, always like pushing the extra mile, sacrificing, like that's what's truly important. And yeah, YPFJ, it's doing a good job, especially the progress. I would say from first year to now, it's progressed a lot. And I'd encourage a lot of people to come, everyone to come.
And so, it was decreed that each year the various Hidri members would offer up one weekend to fight to the brink of death in a pageant of honor, courage, and sacrifice. Let the first annual Hidri Games begin. In order to break free from the capital, you must use what you know about your history, your country, and your identity. Each district must utilize their leadership and communication skills to overcome the obstacles they will be faced with. May the odds be ever in your favor.
know that the topic of today is culture and education. Well, this is basically the same as saying analyzing a society in its own main characteristics and as regards education, how these characteristics of the society are carried on, are put down to the new generation as they come. A long time of my life in Eritrea, and so I had the opportunity to study in particular the characteristics of the Eritrean culture. Among other things, I prepared for when I was in the university a brief study on Eritrea that I presented aside of my main presentation. Now, the characteristic of the Eritrean culture are given by several things. Number one, by the language. The language of Eritrea is a very solid, established with a long tradition language, with a lot of works that have defined very well.
And this is what I'm going to talk about today. Literature and power. The power of Eritrean literature. One of the best kept secrets, but no longer a secret for this room after an hour or so. In most other African countries, literary, oral or written, composition of the highest critical standard in African languages has frequently been derailed or stopped altogether, most notably by the imposition of colonial languages. Eritrean literature has also suffered the occasional imposition of colonial languages, both European and African, although to a lesser degree than countries like Nigeria, Senegal, South Africa, Kenya, and many more, to only name a few. But for Africa's declaration of language independence, this widely acclaimed and translated into many African languages now, this widely acclaimed and historic Asmara Declaration of African Languages and Literatures, which came from January 2000, for this to come out of Eritrea, establishing once and for all an end to any kind of hegemony of European languages and African literature, this is not a surprise. This could not be more fitting in retrospect than to emerge from Eritrea. Before I was in Asmara last week, I was in Nairobi, Kenya, delivering a keynote speech at another conference of hundreds of scholars from all over Africa. And do you know what that conference was called? From Asmara 2000 to Nairobi 2014, New Horizons and Trends in African Languages and Literature. Also famous for his translations into Tigrinya of the Russian writer Alexander Pushkin. I've listened to Pavlos Netabay, the great journalist who writes in Tigray. Okay, it was a wonderful poem about Sahel. I've listened to Mohammed Osman Kajirai, who writes in Arabic and who was also a leading intellectual figure in Sudan and the Arab world. These are just some of the names that we need to recognize and we need to know, and most of all, we need to listen to.
With the exception of Eritrea, Zimbabwe, and Sudan, every African nation has a relationship with AFRICOM, the U.S. military command in Africa. What we have witnessed is a cruel parody of Kwame Nkrumah's dream of a united Africa with its own integrated military force stretching across the continents in common defense. Today, African militaries have been integrated, and they're under a black commander-in-chief. But he is sitting in Washington, and he's an American. The conversion of the African Union into an annex of the U.S. Pentagon has been breathtaking in its speed. It has been accomplished without the establishment of major autonomous standalone U.S. bases on the continent, with the exception of the one in Djibouti, which is Eritrea's neighbor. And Djibouti, of course, is a virtual colony of the Americans and the French.
Your name, please?
Sure. My name is Samuel Mahaffey.
Okay, and your relationship with Eritrea?
Sure. My relationship with Eritrea is I was born in Asmara, Eritrea, and I grew up in Senafe, Eritrea. So I consider Eritrea my homeland.
Great. I believe this is the first conference, perhaps, of the youth conference you've attended, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts so far?
I've really enjoyed it. I feel like I've learned a whole lot. I learned about, I feel like I write about Eritrea a lot. I feel like I know a lot about Eritrea, and I feel like I've learned a whole lot about Eritrea by being here. I was particularly enjoyed the presentation about Eritrean poetry, which is something I knew very little about, and I've really enjoyed meeting the youth from Eritrea.
Okay, how would you evaluate their ability of consciousness of their relationship with their country, with Eritrea?
You know, I have teenage kids myself, and I've talked to a lot of young people here who are Eritrean, and I think they're young people who are incredibly aware of the world. More than that, they're really anxious and wanting to learn about the world. I find that a lot of them are really wanting to learn about Eritrea. They're wanting to understand Eritrea better, and I think it's very exciting.
Great. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
All right. Thank you.
بس أسرع عملت بناء عملت أكل زي ما تخاف أنا مت
Thank you. Ruta? Is this your first time or?
No, it's my second. I feel like more people are engaged to it, are more into their culture. So
okay.
The program is actually like really well organized. So it's cool. Like I feel like I can relate because I went to Sawa myself.
Okay, you went Sawa yourself. When did you go to Sawa? And you did all your national service?
Yeah.
And what would you like to say about it?
I mean, I feel like it brings you stronger as a person. On top of that, like the negative thoughts that you had, like it changes to positivity. You work stronger as a whole, and you feel like you accomplished so much. You know? Like it's something that you'll never forget.
So what you hear about Sawa from outside, is it the reality when you go and check it out yourself, or? It's
like stories will never compare to like actually experiencing it. Like you can tell as much as you can, but like if you don't physically or mentally actually experience Sawa, I don't know. It's like it's not the same. Like you have to go out there next.
Oh, my name is Emilio De Luigi. Okay, my relationship with Eritrea started when I was a very young kid. I went to Massawa, I think in 1937. I was 4 or 5 years old, and I left Asmara in 1976. I had a period in Europe, but for the university. But anyway, I have enjoyed very much the conference. First reason for which I enjoyed the conference is the number of young people. I think that they are the key to success for any country and any type of program. And I found the young people extremely open, with a typical curiosity for everything that refers to country, you know. And they are very open, and I can say that they are very curious because they kept coming, asking questions after my presentation, my speech, asking questions. And since my speech rotated principally on talking about my experience with the Eritrean fighters. They were very interested and they asked details how they lived, what their problems were, and so on. And another thing that we have extensively discussed with them are the economic aspect of the country and how the country has a very good possibility of development. And they were asking my opinion. So I said, for example, that the industrial culture that is in Eritrea, a sort of a unique situation because Eritrea had a whole variety of industry. And then we spoke also of the developments that are possible in the field, for example, of fishing, fish farms, tourist resort, and they are very much aware of the importance of these things for the economic development.
One question I would like to ask you is that currently there is a thought that the young youth or young generation is not conscious enough to know about what's going on in this world, perhaps politically. Did you see any sign of consciousness in the young people when you're, perhaps when they approached you?
Well, I guess from the fact that they are very well aware that nowadays the competition in the world is to be played with economics and not as in the old time with weapons, means that they are very well aware of the world around them.
I appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
ኣብዚ ዋዕላ እዚ ምሳኹም ብምስታፈይ ትስምዓኒ ሓበን ኣዝዩ ልዑል እዩ ብዙሕ ተማሂረ ብዙሕ ተመሲጠ ምናልባት ኣብ ዝሓለፈ ኣዋርሕ ፅዕቕ ዝበለ ንጥፈታት ነይርና ኣብ ኤሮፓ ኣብ ጀርመን እየ ዘለኹ ግን ጀርመን ዝሓለፈ 8 ወርሒ ዳርጋ ኣይረኣኽዎን ስዊዘርላንድ ባዕላ መንእሰያት ነርና ካብኣ ከምታ ዝበልናያ ብተብተብ ድማ ቦሎኛ ተበገሱ ኢሎምና ቦሎኛ ኸድና ምስቲ ኣብኡ ዘሎ ኮሚኒቲ ብሓፈሻ ምስቲ
ዝኣተኽዎ መፅዓን ዝተሰከምክዎ ሓደራ ኣብ ምዕራፉ ክብፅሕ ዝሓለፍኩ ሓፍትኻ እሞ ኣንጻር ዝኾነ ይኹን በደል ኣትክል ኣብ መትከለይ ጽናዕ ቀጽል
ኣብ ልዕሊ ኤርትራ ዝወርድ ዝኾነ ይኹን በደል ንኽትፈድዮ ድቃስ ነፍሰ ፍትወት ወጊድ ኢሉ ንህዝብን ምድሩን ክብረት ንኸጓናጽፍ ዝጋደል ሓርበኛ እዩ እቲ ኤርትራ ወደይ ብቑል ማህፀነይ ትብሎ ዜጋ እወ ኣብ ዓለም ዘቐንእ ነገር እንተልዩ ከም ዝኣመሰለ ጅግና ምዃን መኒ
حربنا مرخاي نوينا بلي انت اي قريب انت اي كبلي يتذكر لومي بس كل عالم حربنا مرخاي نوينا بلد انت اي قريب انت اي كبلي تذكر لومي ميزان عصفور ملس يا ونتو ساك لبس نحكي أسرح يو مريت كاملس نحكي أسرح أيوه مسأل كاملس تزاريتم عشقك تملس هيا ونتو سقاك لبس نحكي أسرح أيوه ندو مسأل كاملس نحكي أسرح أيوه مريت كاملس لاي منأسي نعخان ديو ما تنزتن كف الحربين يو نبيك تسقرو سماع الدهايو لاي منأسي نعخان ديو ما تنزتن كف الحربين يو نبيك تسقرو سماع الدهايو هيا ونتو سقاك لبس نحكي أسرح أيوه مريت كاملس
It's something unfortunate they had to go through, but at the same time, I'm proud of them. They did what they did. It was very brave of them, and without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. Thanks to them, Eritrea is what it is today.
بعلمت كريوه سوء حاوغا قدم حليفويه حديقون عقا نيره وازنارو تركبو يخا بعلمت كريوه سوء حافغا قدم حليفويه حديقون عقا نيره وازنارو تركبو يخا عشقك تملس هيا ونتو سقاك لبس نحكي أسرح أيوه مريت كاملس نحكي أسرح أيوه مسأل كاملس دار دم عشقك تملس هيا ونتو سقاك لبس نحكي أسرح أيوه مريت كاملس نحكي أسرح أيوه بام
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. عايز حاجة تي. تزاول مغرد يا زيا.
لمن إحنا حاول مغرد.
بالمغرد مش عايز السنة يا. أيوة مغرد يا زيا.
هاي هو صار اللي
كوميس بدل يشتري مع ذا إدري المع ذاينا.
مع ذا أنت زي سمعك أنا لا تقولني.
تابونا زي سمعني زي سمع على زي بدل.
أنت هبي أخاف بقيل زي أسأل كم زي أخاف رأيك اللي.
لا كل فتنا أنا 70 رضا واحد. لحنا بحرين لنا لا زي بالبحرين. بحر ذي تبني. بحر ذي خضرة خبري نبى. بحر ذي حسري نبى. بحر أقول ذا واحد.
Nibret, how are you?
Good.
You did very well in the play. How long did you practice for it?
Not that long. My message is, even though you're here in this country, don't let it water down your identity. At the end of the day, don't forget where you came from.
Great.
Yes, she's white.
Come in, look at that.
Came from Eritrean, will be Eritrean forever. Shabia. I would not pass.
Bravo.
I would have mash.
Every day. Man, power to the people.
Mention case.
Teresa.
Teresa, Cabe?
Cab St. Louis.
Cab St. Louis.
But I'm in DC.
Great. What's your thoughts about the conference?
I'm glad I finally made it. It's my first conference.
Great.
Yeah, great speakers. It's good to people in a room full of national pride.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Great. Thank you, Teresa.
سلامات شم كمان قبل
سامير كابت بدقل بينكم بتعمي تبون يوم مساتن
زبالة تمرتني رواه ويكاني سحابني رو تبلو بروجرام انتاين
بلو زناي وجلتات نقولنا ناخبا بتعم زحبوسيو دارنا نقول زناي سوا نقبرنا نزيم حدري تمهرو أبز عبدي توجم دعاليو نعوام عبي مرتوانا
بتعم تبو مون عمتا بزبالة سنة فتات تقريبك وي تقريبنا هنكيد كاب دي سي نقول لنا مو قصب حنسابنا مالتي
وان عمتا عرفت تمدب بوتا مسفتنا كاب حجة حيزة مدراوات قبل لي باقي صراح مع السخيل مع السخيل حجة مدراوات قبل لي أبغى نسيت اعترفت لي عمت
بتعم تبو يغني لي سامعك مثالي موسى كنتات مع كونفرنس كمان خير الله بهذا الزبالة وي كمان تودي
دعمي دس اليوم أول تدازيمو أبدي كتينا أسباب اللي كاب سوم أدري YPFDJ سوم PFDJ سبيشال PFDJ سوا كل هالحجر الحجر نبرنا شيء كونفرنسي نسافر بغلنا زبالة تعرف على جوا مالتيو كم سبعة وتسعة ماني بس فاقفر
نبوز حساب بتعمل زي حق وسن زي مثلا هناي أبغى أقول قلت زنبورو مومس ورارات أبشرهم زمتشوف ولا أقول قلت كبروا متشون ناتهم كم فرق زاروا بقولوه جناح بزحات سبات زاروا ويكالو لمن تاي سمين عم تيوه
زي لو عندي تزاربوا بعرف الشلفاي إبراهيم تقارن تجميل كاب حساب وارساي هنا إذا تنقب تاريخ عندنا لو ما عندي تزاربوا كابو إيش شيء عجون زمتزلو كونفرنس زبالته تعرفوا زبالته بالله دي ما نجيب عداد الزلة والسبايل تفكر نجارب ولا مهنا نجارينا لنا ስለዚህ هاي بتعب عوتيو ደስ ብሊው ዳዚሙ አመታው ካብስ ስለለጠ ናርብ ዋና እንተኛ
thank you
Do you really want to know? Okay. So, when I state the region, state, etc., please quickly come here so we can pass on the baton and responsibilities so you can start worrying about what's going to happen next year. So the one that's going to be so fortunate to prepare for next year is Las Vegas, Nevada.
كانت
تعلموا لا بشنا تاريخكم يتكسر الذراعو نكاك الطاقة نبت فري سلام كنك تغيرون حيلة البهنو ميردنا حرية قيننا مدتها تندو قميردنا حرية قيننا مدتنا مدينة أوبر صابتها مدي حرية إلى استعمارك النوا كنت مكينتنا سر لقحنتي معانيك ردني كانت ميردنا حرية قيننا مدتنا